In the headlines, National Budget makes provision for VAT relief for small agro-processors and manufacturers. Construction of the international airport to begin this financial year. And a challenge to young nurses to help improve the image of their profession. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Avec Flow, and mettez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? Zero cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, an appeal to agro-processors to ensure their products are up to standard. Julian Morris has that story.
Technical Officer for Quality in the Inspection Unit of the Bureau of Standards, Keisha Joseph, says it is important for those who plan to sell products to the public to meet the standards set by the Bureau. There has been a growing number of locally manufactured items for consumption on supermarket shelves, and Joseph says there are criteria which must be met to get the Bureau's approval.
For prepackaged foods, you have to have the general name, the common name, the net content, the batch number, and then also the date mark. So basically, each requirement is very important. For example, you have the list of ingredients, because persons make things differently. So sometimes you might eat a product and it's missing the list of ingredients and you're allergic to something that's in it, and then you have certain consequences. So each labeling requirement is very important. So basically looking at the 8 labeling standards and the requirements for these products.
The technical officer says over the past few years there have been major improvements in the labeling of locally manufactured products.
I would say there has been an improvement in terms of the local products as it concerns, let's say, 2010 to right now. So we have a lot of good competitive products. So just some of them are missing 1-2 requirements, so we're looking to work with them to ensure they have all the requirements. But I must say that we have some very good competitive local products.
The appeal was made to those who plan to put products on the local market for consumption by the Dominican public to visit the Bureau of Standards to ensure the commodity meets the required standards.
Those are looking to have local products on the shelf. What we advise them to do is come to the Bureau at first. So you come to the Bureau, we'll tell you about the label requirements, different services that the Bureau has to offer, like the lab testing. So I know some of them, they have to have the date mark. So like for the shelf life, you have alcohol content and so on. So we tell them all the different requirements and then we follow down to that chain. But it starts with coming to the Bureau to get all the different requirements and then we move down that chain.
The Bureau has also noticed an increase in the variety of agro-processed items from coconut oil, soaps and pepper sauce to packaged seasonings, vegetable noodles, candles and cards.
In other top stories, the 2020-2021 national budget is making some significant concession to stimulate the island's manufacturing sector. Entrepreneurs engaged in the small agro-processing and craft business are expected to benefit from the removal of VAT on imported raw material.
Government continues to explore export markets for local produce and products. Two critical elements in ensuring the marketability of these goods are attractive packaging and cost. To improve the competitiveness of locally produced goods, government will remove VAT and import duty on packaging and labeling materials as well as on the equipment and machinery used in the production of goods with effect from September 1, 2020.
Meantime, Prime Minister Skerrit highlights some of the major infrastructural projects to take place within the financial year 2020-2021, among them the International Airport.
The International Airport. Mr. Speaker, the International Airport, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, progress has been made towards the construction of the International Airport. We have completed the necessary surveys, and Cabinet has approved for the acquisition of 213 properties required for the airport construction, of which 47 are farms. The total market value of these properties is estimated at $50.7 million. Negotiations have been completed with 25 property owners. Government will begin to make payments to the property owners and farmers in August 2020. Geotechnical surveys will be undertaken by September 2020. We want to place on record our appreciation to the government of the People's Republic of China for its commitment towards the construction of this important transformational project of Dominica. And we are grateful to them for their solidarity and support. And how I cannot wait for this airport to begin, Mr. Speaker. And this airport will be built under this current Dominica Labour Party administration.
Investment in the Roseau Enhancement Project is also on the cards for this financial year.
The capital city of our country is important to that country symbolically as a place of opportunity and as the hub of the country's economic, social, and cultural life. This government has promised the people of Dominica, more so the people of Roseau, a transformed capital city. This transformation is already taking place, starting from the banks of the Roseau River, with the construction of the Roseau River Promenade and Riverwalk. During this fiscal year, we will see the construction of a bypass running from the east to west along the southern border of the Botanic Gardens. Part of the vision of this government is to undertake the transformation of the Botanic Gardens into an oasis of safety, calm, and beauty for all to enjoy. With the construction of the bypass, we will be able to make the Botanic Gardens a pedestrian zone. Also, work will begin on the reconstruction of Great George Street. It will include the construction of a new road surface with all utility lines placed in underground ducts, covered drains and gutters, new sidewalks which will take into consideration the needs of the physically challenged, and upgraded street lights. During the financial year, a 140-meter wall will be constructed along the southern bank of the Roseau River between the EC Low Black Bridge and the Goodwill Link Road Bridge. This will not only enhance the aesthetics of the city, it will also complete the southern river defense walls, mitigating the risk of flooding of the city.
In more developments, a challenge to young nurses to help change the narrative of the nursing profession in the country. President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, made the remarks during the pinning and capping ceremony of Dominica State College nurses on Tuesday. Dr. Peters says in the recent past, nurses have been put in a negative light by the public, and it is incumbent on this graduating class of nurses to help restore the public's confidence in the profession.
But what I've noticed in the press is that some nurses are getting bad reviews. And I want to tell these young nurses that I don't know why, because my history and the history of nursing is that they're sensitive, warm, caring. These are attributes of a nurse. And I want you to be mindful of this. You have all the skills and training that you need. We're not worried about your competency. We're worried about what you bring into the hospitals or the nursing facilities where you work. That you treat people with respect, with integrity, and you go the extra mile. maybe we can go back to the old days of Florence Nightingale and be the Florence Nightingale of the future, so that when other nurses graduate, they will follow your footsteps. And I will stop reading about bad nurses at the hospital.
Dr. Peters says the college is committed to producing good quality young professionals to help boost the workforce in Dominica.
So we as a college want to continue to provide nurses and quality nurses for our country. Dominica State College wants to be the institution that provides all workers and employees and professionals trained across all sectors. We know we are number one in IT in the country. Nursing, we are the sole provider of nurses, and well, not really. We have some competition. But we want to put the best people out, because we don't have any other institution that's going to train people to work in our country. And to provide a strong economy, we need students and graduates who are conscientious, who are sensitive to the nation's needs, and who are ready to respect the people that they work with.
Chief Physical Planner Dr. Glenora Joseph has released a statement addressing the public's concerns surrounding pollution at the Layou River.
On Thursday, the 23rd of July, we at the Physical Planning Division received reports from members of the public, villagers of Layou, that there had been contamination of the watercourse, the Layou River, in the area. And there are also allegations that the contamination originated from the asphalt plant situated in Layou. Now, we at the Physical Planning Division take all matters concerning pollution originating from developments very seriously. So myself, the Chief Physical Planner, and two of my officers went to the Layou area to investigate the concerns of the villagers of Layou. And upon arrival, what we noticed was there was a dark oily sludge, a dark oily liquid floating on the surface of the river near the vegetated area of the river, close to the mouth of the river. We also saw some deposits of oil on the river banks. So, in keeping with the complaints that we received from members of the public, we proceeded thereafter to investigate the asphalt plant for any signs of leakage of material from that plant. Now, what we do know about the operations of the plant is that the plant operates a closed-loop system in which there are no liquid emissions from the plant, and materials are recovered and reused in the asphalt mix cycle. So we went on to investigate the plant. We found no evidence of leakage from the plant. We also investigated the perimeter of the plant and the river area in the immediate vicinity of the asphalt plant. And in all those investigations, we found no evidence of leakage of bituminous material from the plant. Now, when we conduct these environmental investigations, we have a view to ensure that they are very thorough, and we want to identify the cause of the contamination, and we want to also identify the chemicals that are associated with the contamination. So, part of our inquiries involved liaising with the various agencies responsible for maintaining good environmental conditions in Dominica, and that includes the Environmental Health Department. Now, our inquiries on this matter are very much ongoing. They are very much in the early stages. We are looking to ascertain what is the material that was in the river, the type of oil that was in the river with a great level of certainty, so that we can identify where it originated and how it came to be in the river. Now, what we are doing is that we are urging members of the public who witness any activities regarding indiscriminate dumping of contaminants in the river to report these matters to the Physical Planning Division or relevant agencies such as the Environmental Health Department. We take all these matters seriously, and we will investigate these matters. Now, what we want to assure the public is that we intend to be very thorough with this process of investigating the type of contamination and the source of contamination in Layou River. Fisher folk were concerned that the oil near the vegetated area, they term the area fish food. So they were concerned that that oil there might affect fish life and fish breeding in the area. So that's one of the concerns that was expressed to us when we visited the site. So what we do know is that in Layou we have several developments ongoing. We have the asphalt plant as well as river dredging works, sand mining operations. So we are keeping an open mind in terms of the likely sources of contamination in Layou. So one of the lines of inquiry was the asphalt plant. We are also considering the possibility that the leak could have originated from heavy equipment operating in the area.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up! or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. An updated public assistance list to be completed soon. Julian Morris tells us more.
That's the word from Chief Welfare Officer Leroy Morvan. The list provides assistance to Dominicans who can't afford to maintain their upkeep on their own. Morvan says the Welfare Division was recently mandated to update its public assistance list for better management of state funds.
Recently, Cabinet had mandated us to do island-wide review of the public assistance program, and at the same time we are trying to update our database system. So we have just been on the verge of completing our reviews. We just remain in the Roseau area, which is a bit challenging because the physical addresses of the people, we do not really have all those. Some of these just have address as Roseau. So we get in the assistance of the electoral division to see if they can assist us with physical addresses. We have done all the out districts, all the villages, all the village councils. Yes, so just the Roseau, those on the Roseau list that we are waiting on the electoral commission. If they can assist us with the addresses, physical addresses, then we will take that on.
Outside of the physical address of individuals, there are other challenges facing the Welfare Division when it comes to updating the public assistance list. And we still have a challenge in that regard because you have some people on the Roseau list who have moved from Roseau, maybe taken by family members, especially elderly people in the out districts, and we do not have their location, the physical addresses, we don't have telephone numbers and so on. So what we did in the review, we make sure that we got the correct date of birth of persons. We looked at their birth certificates and those who had, and those who are married, we also looked at the change of names and so on and get telephone contact numbers for them and all the bio data of those persons. And we have also reviewed, like we look at how long ago have you been getting the assistance. A review of the list will mean an adjustment to the monies being distributed to those on the public assistance list. Some people will realize the assistance that they are now getting will either be discontinued or reduced, or there are cases where a person's situation has become worse. You know, somebody maybe had a hip problem when you went, and because of age, they are now no longer able to walk. Now, at the time, they were getting $150, but that person is now confined to their wheelchair or at home and nobody to assist. And how can they survive $150? So we make a recommendation for an increase. Now, we have different categories of where we assist people in terms of the finances. For instance, assistance to one child would be $127.50. So if you recommend for 2 children, you multiply by 2, which would be $255. Sometimes you would recommend for an adult, which is the parent, the mother, and the child, which is $150 plus $127.50, which would be $277.50, or you give a family allowance in some cases, which would be $375. For the persons who are totally physically challenged, then they would get a flat $300.
And the construction of the Loubier to Bagatelle Road will form part of a series of infrastructural projects to be undertaken this financial year. Designs and cost estimates for the Loubier to Bagatelle Road have been prepared for the construction of that project.
That project is being funded by the government of the United Kingdom and will see the construction of a number of new bridges, drainage systems, road widening and straightening, and a new road surface. Due to the terrain in that area, particularly between Fombauer and Pishne and Dubik, the cost estimates for new designs exceeded the funding available. This required that the designs be reviewed in order to arrive at an estimate which is more in line with the budgeted amount. I have been advised that the revised designs should be completed by the third quarter of the fiscal year. Northeast Road Project. A contract was awarded earlier this month for a feasibility study, as well as preparation of designs and cost estimates for improving a 36.1 kilometer span of roadway on the northeast from the St. Mary's Bridge in Hatton Garden to Borough Square in Portsmouth. This consultancy is funded by the Kuwaiti Fund for Arab Economic Development. I am pleased to announce to this Honorable House and the people of Dominica, particularly the people of the East, that a contract in the amount of $126.8 million has been awarded for the full rehabilitation of approximately 30 kilometers of roadway from Wadiab in the Emerald Pool area to Cassibruce and through the Kalnago territory onto Hatton Garden. This project is expected to commence in August 2020 and will include the construction of new bridges, drainage systems, road widening and straightening, and new road surfaces. I wish to point out to this Honorable House that out of the $126.8 million, $79 million will be spent in the Salibia constituency alone, member for Salibia. This investment in the road network will certainly enhance and indeed increase economic activity in the East generally, especially in the Cassibruce and Salibia constituencies.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With Flow, when I bag our money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. The national budget makes provision for VAT relief for small agro-processors and manufacturers. Construction of the international airport to begin this financial year. And a challenge to young nurses to help improve the image of their profession. Feel free to access or pause the newscast on our YouTube channel On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.